I hadn't heard about Trinity before December last year. Somebody phoned us and asked us if we would come and do a couple of days at the college, a sort of spiritual emphasis week. And so that was the first time I'd heard about Trinity. But in the October of that year, we already knew that we would be leaving our previous position. And I had a very powerful dream. And I woke up at about 6 o'clock in the morning and I had this dream pulsating in my brain, and I knew it was from the Lord. And I woke my husband up. I said, Paul, wake up, I've had a dream. And he said, go back to sleep, darling, go back to sleep. And so I just lay in bed and I was thinking about this dream, and then went down to the kitchen and I said, I've had this dream. And he said, yeah, I've got to run to the office, we can talk about it later. And when we came back at lunchtime, I put my head back and I said, Lord, if this dream was from you, just please give me the interpretation. And I'd no sooner said interpretation than I knew what the dream meant. And it had two parts to it. And the first part was what we were leaving. And the second part, Paul and I were in a car, and Paul was at the steering wheel. And I was sitting next to him. And I suddenly became aware of something on the back seat of the car. And I turned around and I looked and I saw what to me looked like a dead baby. And I just began to cry. And I said, Paul, the baby's dead, the baby's dead. And I was weeping, and then suddenly I turned around and I felt prompted to touch this little baby, and I touched the baby and it came to life, and I started to laugh. I said, the baby's alive, the baby's alive. And I just felt such joy. And then I took the baby in my arms and I picked it up and I started to nurture it, and woke up from the dream. And I knew immediately that dream was the next phase of our ministry. And when we heard about Trinity, I can't say I was too excited to come to the freezing cold weather of North Dakota, and can't say that Ellendale, 1,500 people in a little town, was on our bucket list. But as soon as I got here, we felt such an openness and such an excitement on the campus. And then we had a meeting with the Board of Trustees, and one of the trustees was talking to us and interviewing us, and he said, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, we have to admit that a couple of years ago we thought, had Trinity's time come to an end? Was the baby dead? But we felt like there was still life in this baby if somebody would pick it up and nurture it. And I immediately knew that Trinity was God's plan for Paul and my life. And so I'm just thrilled to be at Trinity. It's just an exciting place to be. So really the first time I'd heard about it was December last year. My official capacity is Director of Postgraduate Studies. That's new for Trinity. We've never done postgraduate studies before, so it's a new role. We're still seeking accreditation for our graduate courses, but we're excited about it because we believe we can really upskill leaders and pastors to the next level. And we had a very vibrant and wonderful graduate program in the UK, and we're trusting that it'll be a really exciting and wonderful opportunity for leaders. But I travel a lot with my husband. We promote Trinity. We have a passion for this place. We believe in raising the next generation of leaders. So we're just enjoying our lives, traveling up and down, talking about Trinity, preaching in different churches. My role is very varied at the moment, but those are some of my major responsibilities. I know that our mission is missions, the world. We have a deep passion that men and women leave Trinity with a mission DNA, that everything we do and breathe is mission. We want Trinity students to leave loving God's world, loving people, passionate about touching the world, touching a needy world with the love of Jesus. And so That's our deep desire. I think if anything, we want people to come onto this campus knowing that that's the heart of what we're about at Trinity. Our heart is mission, the lost, touching the poor, the needy, getting our students out into different parts of the world. I think that that's our major passion, our major mission, our major drive. I think many of our students are seeking to go into ministry positions. Many of them are longing to be pastors and leaders. There are a number of our students that are also have a missionary heart, that want to go and serve God in missions in different parts of the world. There's a young lady that has a deep aspiration to go to Russia. We have another young lady with a passion for children and children's homes. So our students are aspiring to do different things, and we're excited because we believe that we're raising up the next generation to touch the world with God's love. And wherever they go, whatever their position, whether they're in education, in mission, whatever it is, in business, that their passion will be mission and reaching people with God's love. Well, it's the heart of everything we do. If our students just sit in class and get their heads filled with knowledge but don't go out there and do it, I think we failed in our mission. Our heartbeat at Trinity is that our students will go out with a deep passion for Jesus, that they will be able to share their love for Jesus. I think we're living in a very exciting time, but we're living in a very needy world, a world that is secularized, a world that is far from Christ, a very pluralistic world that are hearing messages from so many different angles. And we have to share an authentic Jesus. And so I think one of the things we hope to impart to our students is that it's not just what they say, it's what they embody, that they need to embody this message. So that when they do share Jesus, it's authentic, because people out there are looking for authenticity. They're searching for truth, any truth, as long as it touches them and reaches them in some way. And there's so many different messages that are being purported, so many different stories that are being told. And if our message is authentic, if our students, if we as a faculty and staff embody what we believe, the Jesus that we've come to love and serve, if we truly embody this message, I believe that we can see our world changed with His love. I think discipleship has really come back onto the radar again. You know, we're no longer just looking for numbers, for people to make decisions. We realize how important it is for people to become true Christ followers. Not just Christians, but ardent, passionate Christ followers. And so I think at Trinity we see the importance of being passionate Christ followers. And the way we do it is by discipling that. I think if we don't disciple it, if we don't live it, we can't expect our students to live it. And I think this generation has also become increasingly disillusioned with people that just talk the talk. They preach their messages from platforms, they teach, they lecture, but they don't actually embody it. And that's the heart of discipleship. The heart of discipleship is actually walking alongside, living our message, embodying it, and taking students on a journey with us. So it's not just telling them what to do, it's showing them how to do it. I think one of the most important ways is really to pray for us. But I think that there are other practical ways people can get involved, and obviously one of the ways is to give financially to the college. Another way is by coming onto the campus and helping us with some of our projects. We have a lot of projects going on. It is a campus that needs a lot of work, like any campus, but there's some of our buildings that have become quite old, and they need a lot of work. And for teams to come over and help us to do some of those projects, those are some of the ways that people can really help us at Trinity. Why do I do what I do? Because I love Jesus with all my heart. He came into my heart when I was a young girl of 13, just changed my life in a most dramatic way, and impacted my family. called me when I was 16 and just gave me a vision for the world. I think from the time I was a girl of 16, I knew that I wanted to serve him in missions. I realized that this was a very needy world, and my life had been so revolutionized by Jesus. I was only 13 when I came to know him, so I hadn't done any major crime or sin, but he just changed my life so dramatically. I'd been asking my mom from the time I was a little girl about Jesus and about church, and I used to say to my mom, what happens to us when we die? And she'd say, well, if we've got the right religion, we go to heaven. If we have the wrong religion, we go to hell. And I said to my mom, do we have the right religion? And she said, well, we'll find out when we die. And I thought, that's pretty risky, you know, because if you have the wrong religion. And then when I was 13, I went on a camp, and I found out, I heard a lot of young people share about Jesus and their walk with him, and he came into my life and he changed my life completely. And I just want others to know the incredible, beautiful Jesus that I've come to love and know over the past 30 years. He has done awesome things in my life, and I just want everyone possible to know the Jesus I know. And we are working with a fantastic team of people, just people that are passionate. I think when you work with people that passionately love God, that's what makes a place vibrant. That's what makes a place come alive. And we just feel honored, really honored and privileged to be working with the men and women we're working with. They are an incredible group of people. And I just feel so privileged to be at Trinity. It's really a fantastic place to be. Like one of our staff say, it's the best place on the planet.